This book is dedicated to middle-aged men around the world, and more importantly, dedicated to all their spouses or life partners that have stood faithfully by their sides, putting up with all of their crap. This is the author, Rich J. Tilley. Thank you for joining us on YouTube for the free audio of unsubstantiated advice about life from a middle-aged man. Preface. Thank you for taking the time to read my third book, Unsubstantiated Advice About Life from a Middle-Aged Man. This is not your traditional run-of-the-mill self-help book. I'm not sure whether this book belongs in the self-help section of your local bookstore or in the funny and humor aisle. But I do know that it belongs on your reading list. Let us begin with a question. Who is the middle-aged man that offers highly opinionated, unsolicited advice in these penned pages? Could it be me, the author, based on how I really feel about life's everyday occurrences? Or is it unfounded and fabricated thoughts coming from the mouth of Ed, our fictional cartoon character, who graces the front cover of this book? The posed question above falls into a sneaky gray area that could place the accountability on either one of us. Some of these words may indeed stem from my warped view about human nature, and my receding hairline that I see in the mirror now tells me that I am starting to transition into the likeness of a middle-aged man. Other words that you will read are being written vicariously through me, the author, on behalf of Ed, our stereotypical 100% fully formed middle-aged man. Meet Ed. He's in one of his moods today. There's a picture here of Ed, and he says, "Did I ask you to shake my hand?" You might know someone like Ed. He resembles a father figure, or that crazy uncle of yours, or that guy you work with, or you used to work with, born a generation ago, making everyone around him feel really uncomfortable. You know the one. We have all met a guy like Ed. He could easily be a man that has probably celebrated his 50th birthday, but not yet his 69th. He might be a homebody that likes to sit in his favorite worn-out armchair, resting his ailing, worn-out body. On the table stand next to his patriarch throne are often two smaller remote controls, one for a DVR VCR combo player that doesn't work anymore, and a third universal remote laying perched on the top of his chair arm, ready for action. Surrounding the side table light base are three pairs of dollar store non-prescription reading glasses, complemented by several unopened solicitations from AARP, AAA membership renewals, Visa, and American Express. A faded 32-ounce Han Solo Chewbacca Star Wars tumbler drink cup with yesterday's remnants of Diet Coke over ice sits next to a small plate, showing last night's evidence of a chocolate chip cookie binge. Down the side of his seat cushion lies a small handgun that he has hidden there to confront any surprise home intruders. Do you have an image of this typical middle-aged man yet? A man who has gained a little too much belly fat these days to wear normal pants and prefers to wear his Christmas past holy gray sweatpants every day because he claims they are just more comfortable. A man who is starting to lose his grooming battle with his nose hair, wild eyebrows, and ear hairs, and whose hair on his forearms seems to be getting bushier by the day, indicating that our fully formed middle-aged man could be transitioning himself into the werewolf of London. He is a grandfather type of a man that feels like he has seen enough and lived long enough to have an opinion on every subject and enjoys sharing his wisdom with everyone who meets him, even when his baseless advice is unwarranted. Neither myself or our fictitious middle-aged man, Ed, here, is remotely qualified for any advice written inside this humble handbook. Neither one of us has a human psychology degree or earned any financial advisor certifications, and we are not deserving of any letters behind our names. Ed and I possess only degrees from the School of Hard Knocks, and we both own the scars to prove it. Most of this self-help counseling is written with tongue-in-cheek humor, and some of this material could be considered complete nonsense. The primary intent in getting this book out to the world is simply to bring a smile to all of your faces. We hope this will be the most enjoyable reading experience for you, poking fun at ourselves and fellow members of the human race. These expressed opinions are unsubstantiated words, but there is a high probability that we could be surprisingly correct about a lot of things discussed within these 10 insightful chapters. Read on, and we will let you be the judge for yourselves. If any of this work ends up offending you, please accept our deepest apologies now. The writing wouldn't be interesting if we didn't ruffle at least a few feathers, right? I will most likely blame Ed for the cantankerous opinions offered in the edgy segments that push the envelope in order to distance myself away from the subject matter. However, if any of this advice is perceived to be wise and brilliant, I will gladly claim full responsibility for the astute tutelage offered in this book. My real thoughts and sarcastic comments are in italics. Ed's are showcased in the cartoon bubbles. The random personal stories give some insight on what factors shaped my adult thinking and how my brain works. Thank you to my talented son Zachary for the addition of his clever illustrated pieces, creating another level of entertainment for all of you to enjoy. Working on a creative project with my boy has been truly exhilarating and has tested every ounce of my patience. I have found life to be an adventure, sprinkled with a series of trial and error experiments. Over the course of time, aged wisdom and experience can shake off any theory, and Ed and I hope this book speeds up the learning process for you. Have fun reading, have fun learning, and laughing, and remember this initial sound advice. Life is short. We can't take it too seriously. This concludes the preface. Please join us on the next YouTube video with the first chapter in unsubstantiated advice about life from a middle-aged man, adversity.